Here in 4.5, we have the third and final of our looping expressions here for the chapter, and it is the for loop. The for loop, I'll tell you, is a rare and beautiful thing when you are a developer because the following statements are all true. In a for loop, the developer knows, or at least has a reasonable expectation that the loop is going to run a predefined number of times. And anytime that you as a developer get to use the statement, I know how often this is going to happen, that's nice. Because most of the time, you as a developer do not know how many times something is going to happen. So a for loop knows how many times it is going to execute because you tell it how many times it is going to execute. A for loop has essentially four components. We have the for keyword, and I'll tell you that this starts here on page 208. We have the for keyword, and that is going to let Java know that we are initializing, or we are about to initiate rather, a loop. Then inside of our parentheses, we have three things. We have the initialization statement. We are going to provide the loop with an integer. Don't get cute and use something else. Use an integer. We are going to provide the loop with an integer that we are going to use to control how many iterations we are going to go through. So typically what you will see is count equals 1 or count equals 0 or number equals 1 or number equals 0. Something like that. That is a dead simple way of identifying, okay, I am using this as a counter to manage my loop, and that is all. We have a test statement next. What I should mention also is that we use the semicolon to separate out the pieces of our statement. So in every for statement, you will have two semicolons: statement, semicolon, statement, semicolon, statement. And that's how they all look, exactly like you see them here on page 208. In the middle, we have our test expression. While I is less than 5, while counter is less than 5, while number is less than 5, or something to that effect. It is something that we can test for truth so that we can enter into, remain inside of, or leave our statement. And finally, we have the update statement. We would say number plus plus, counter plus plus, I for iteration plus plus. So what happens is when the for loop reaches the bottom of its statement, so it's looking for that statement block, when it reaches the bottom of the statement, before it goes up to the top of the statement again to check for truth, it automatically increments for you the counter that you're using to stay inside of the expression. So unlike the while loop, where you run the risk of having an infinite loop, here with the for statement, you don't run that risk because Java automatically updates your incrementer for you, which is fantastic. So if we scroll down just a little bit, we can see, here we go. This is on page 209. We can see one in action. We do have a code sample later on where you can see a larger one in action. So we have our for statement. Then inside of the parentheses, number equals 1. So that's our the initialization there. Our test statement is number is less than or equal to 10. And then our increment statement is number plus plus. Now, could you get I'm going to call it cute. Can you get cute here and say number plus equals 2 so that you're counting by 2s to get to number less than 10? Technically, yes, you can do it. Can you do times equals 2 so you're doing an exponential rollout there for your counter? Yes, you can do it. But my suggestion to you is simple. Don't be a jackass. Nobody is looking for that. Nobody wants that. We want simple, sane, easy to follow looping structures. Get out of here with that times equals 2 crap. That's ridiculous. No. Look, stick to counting up or counting down. and that's perfect as long as you can do it by ones. So don't get cutesy. That's what some of the rest here of the for statement tells you. Do take a look at some of the other conditions that you can put in there, and continue down through here with, I believe it's 4.4, 4.5, the for loop, because again, as a developer, these are really great because you have a better than even chance of knowing exactly how many times the loop is going to be evaluated, which is unusual because as a developer, once we release our code into the wild, the user and the data has a much greater influence on how the code is going to run than we do. So for loops turn out to be really nice for us.